Hello, class. So I found out that the one video that I told you about this new thing that was coming to my house, it didn't work out. That the computer was not picking up my voice. And so now I don't actually just have pictures that I can show you. I have the real thing. So in just a second, I'll show you what came to my house. It is a dog. So the student that guessed a dog is right. She's a sweetheart. And so this is my dog Penny, and nice job thinking about the conversation and thinking about what it could be. You were right when you guessed a dog, and so that's a really good way that active listening can help you. Thinking about what could be the next thing in the conversation and anticipating that. So nice job. So today I want to just introduce to you our new unit. We're going to go ahead and talk about one specific skill related to speech, and that is questions, WH questions. And so WH questions, that's something that some of you have worked on, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. The way that we're going to go about it is we're going to just do this overview today where I tell you a little bit about WH questions and what they're going to do for you. Then I'm going to talk about what questions, like what is that, what's going on, things like that. And then the next one would be who and where. And so that will be the next kind of question. So where would be like places. That's where it would. That's what where would tell you, such as it could be a room in a house like the bathroom. It could be a country like Venezuela. And then we also have who, and that could be he or she or him or her. Or it could be more specific. It could be your mom or your dad, your sister or brother, or you might use a name. So you might say Melanie Kruse or Seth Weidenbach or one of your names. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about when. A lot of you have worked with your schedule and you've talked about when questions, like what's the next activity? When are we doing the social activity? When will we be done? Those are some different things that we've talked about. And then Seth and I are going to have a conversation with you, or a conversation where we will kind of model these questions for you. We'll model answering questions first, and then we'll model asking questions. And then we'll have a conversation with all of it together and show you what that looks like. So the last thing that I need to do on this video, now that I've explained what we're going to be moving into, is that I'm going to tell you the why of why we are doing WH questions. And the reason why we are doing these kind of questions is that they are something that is embedded in so much of your day. And they are a really big piece in conversations. So I know a lot of you have us ask you these questions every day, like what do you think, what's wrong, things like that. And we ask you these questions, and then you might know how to answer that, but we can also talk a little bit more about those question words and get a really good understanding of them. And then you'll be better equipped to answer those questions and then be able to ask some questions yourself. And so that just is a really good way to keep kind of propelling the conversation. For example, I might ask the principal, when will we be done with the COVID-19 quarantine? And she might answer with something that's not very concrete. She might answer with, we will be done when public health officials say that we can go back to school. And so sometimes when you get an answer, it's not maybe one that is super helpful for you, maybe not one that you like too much, but it is a good way to gain some more information. A really good way to gain some information might be for me to ask, what are we going to eat for supper? And then I can find out what it is that we are eating. Maybe we're eating pizza tonight. And then I find that out. Now I know. Now I'm ready and I'm looking forward to having some pizza. I could also say, where do I go to get my ticket for the Beauty and the Beast play? And then someone could tell me, oh, you would go to the Washington Pavilion. And so it also helps you to be able to participate in what you need to. And that way then you can not miss out on things because you're informed and you know how to make things happen for yourself. This morning, just to give you an example of some good questions, these are not WH questions, but this was a good question to ask. One was, can I do it? And so that's another one that I think is just a really good one to highlight. Can I do it? Can I participate? That's always a good question. Or what can I do? And so what I would like for you to do as your assignment is to go ahead and work on asking WH questions. And so, and if it's not a WH question, if maybe you don't have a lot of WH questions on your device, just working on finding your questions page and practicing and seeing what happens when you do ask some questions. But what your speech therapists both said was that answering questions is actually the first step. So the assignment for your parents is to work on just asking some WH questions and just seeing if you're able to then answer those questions, and then they can get the information that they're looking for. So homework assignment for you students is to look at your WH questions that are on your device, or just any questions that you have. And parents, for you to just ask some WH questions or other questions to your students and let them get some practice in with this activity. Another thing that you can do is just model having a conversation where you do ask and answer some questions and just pointing out, oh, well, you know what, my student is working on that. And you just asked a WH question and this is the answer, you know, that kind of a thing. And that would just allow for the students to be able to see it a little bit more and get it put together and practice in real life. Now to say goodbye to you, I'm going to bring over our star of the day. So Penny's going to say goodbye. Goodbye, students.